Hello students, I am Ankit Kumar, PGT Economics, here to take class of Economics for 12th standard. In last video, we have studied about basic concepts related to national income. In this video, we will continue the study of concepts related to national income. Let's start with concept of factory income and transfer income. Factory income. Factory income refers to income received by factors of production, rendering factory services in the production process. We know that factors of production are the primary inputs which are needed to produce goods and services. It is received for providing factor services of land, labor, capital, and enterprise, like rent, wages, interest, profit, etc. Factory income of normal residents of a country is included in the national income. Here, national income is the value of all final goods and services produced by residents of an economy. We will discuss it in detail when we will study the aggregates related to national income. Transfer income. Transfer income refers to income received without rendering any productive services in return. They are not earned but only received. In other words, payments which are received without any contribution to output are known as transfer payments. For example, gift, scholarship to students, unemployment allowances, old age pension, donation, fines, taxes, subsidies, etc. It is unilateral concept. Transfer payments are one-sided payments. They do not have an offsetting product flow in the opposite direction. For example, when someone gives donation, he doesn't want any product in return. It is not included in national income as it does not reflect any production of goods and services. It can be received either within the domestic territory of a country or from abroad. Difference between factory income and transfer income. Make a table in which show first column for differentiation, second column for factory income, and last column for transfer income. First basis is meaning. Factory income is the income received by factors of production for rendering factor services in the production process. Transfer income is the income received without rendering any productive services in return. Second basis is nature. Factory income is included in both national income and domestic income. It is an earned income. Transfer income is neither included in national income nor in domestic income. It is an unearned income. Third basis is concept. Factory income is earning concept. It is provided to factors of production. Transfer income is receipt concept. It is received without rendering any productive activity. Fourth basis is recipient. Factory income is received by factors of production. Transfer income is generally received by households and government. On the basis of example, we can understand the difference. Rent, wages, interest, and profit are the examples of factory income. Scholarship, old age pension, etc. are the examples of transfer income. Note that pension given to an employee is a factory income as it is provided for his work done in past. But old age pension is an example of transfer income as it is provided without rendering any services. Let's understand the concept of domestic territory and resident. Domestic territory. It is very important concept in national income. Domestic territory is commonly known as the political frontiers of a country, but in economics it is wider concept than political boundaries or geographical territory. Economic territory or domestic territory is the geographical territory administered by the government within which person, goods and capital circulate freely. Those parts of political frontiers of a country where the government of that country does not enjoy the above freedom are not included in economic territory of that country. One example is the embassies. Government of India does not enjoy the above freedom in the foreign embassies located within India. So these are not treated as a part of economic territory of India. Based on criteria freedom of circulation of persons, goods and capital, the scope of domestic territory is defined to cover political frontiers or geographical boundaries including territorial, water and airspace. For example, branch of an American bank in India is included in the domestic territory of India because it is located within the geographical boundaries of India. Office of Tata Industries in America is not included in the domestic territory of India because it is outside the geographical boundaries of India. Embassies, consulates, military bases, etc. located abroad. For example, Indian Embassy in Russia is a part of domestic territory of India. Similarly, Russian Embassy in India is not a part of the domestic territory of India. It is a part of domestic territory of Russia. Ships, aircrafts, etc. operated by the residents between two or more countries. For example, aircrafts operated by Air India between Russia and Japan are treated as part of domestic territory of India. Fishing vessels, oil and natural gas rigs, etc. operated by the residents in the international or other areas over which the country enjoys the exclusive right of jurisdiction. For example, fishing vessels operated by Indian fishermen in international waters of Indian Ocean treated as a part of domestic territory of India. Domestic territory does not include: Number 1. Embassies, consulates and military establishment of a foreign country. For example, Russian Embassy in India is not a part of the domestic territory of India. It is a part of domestic territory of Russia. Number 2. International organizations like UNO, WHO, etc. located within the geographical boundaries of a country. Normal residents. A resident, whether a person or an institution, is one whose center of economic interest lies in the domestic territory of the country in which he lives. Normal resident includes both individual and institutions. Center of economic interest implies two things. First, the resident lives or is located within the domestic territory. And second, the resident carries out basic economic activities of earning, spending, and accumulation from the location. For example, people of England living in India more than 1 year are normal residents of India. Following are not included under the category of normal residents: foreign tourists and visitors who visit a country for recreation, holiday, medical treatment, study, sports, conference, etc. For example, foreign tourist visiting India to see the Taj Mahal is not included in normal resident of India. Normally, this visit is a short period visit. Foreign staff of embassies, officials, diplomats, and members of the armed forces of a foreign country located in given country. For example, Russian officials working in Russian embassy in India are not the residents of India. International organizations like UNO, WHO, etc. are not considered as normal residents of the country in which they operate. They are treated as residents of international territory. However, the staff of these bodies are treated as normal residents of the country in which the international body operates. For example, international body like WHO located in India is not normal resident of India, but Americans working in its office more than a year will be treated as normal residents of India. Crew members of foreign vessels, commercial travelers, and seasonal workers provides their stay is less than 1 year. Border workers who live near the international border and cross the border on a regular basis to work in other country, they are treated as normal residents of the country where they live and not where they work. For example, Indians who cross the border in morning to work in Nepal and return in the evening are not residents of Nepal. Citizen and resident. Citizen. Citizen is basically a legal concept based on the place of birth of person or some legal provisions, allowing a person to become a citizen. In India, citizenships can arise in two ways. First, when a person born in India, he acquires automatic citizenship of India. Second, a person born outside India applies for citizenship and Indian law allows him to become Indian citizen. Resident. It is an economic concept based on the basic economic activities performed by a person. An individual is a normal resident of a country if he ordinarily resides in the country for a period more than 1 year, and his center of economic interest also lies in that country. For example, a Chinese living in India for more than 1 year is normal resident of India. However, he is not a citizen of India. It means a person can be a citizen of one country and at the same time a resident of another country. Implications of the concept of domestic territory and resident. The concept of domestic territory and normal resident are important to estimate domestic product and national product. Production inside the domestic territory is included in domestic product. Production by residents of the country is included in national product. Domestic product. Domestic product includes production activity of the production units located in the economic territory irrespective of whether carried out by the residents or non-residents. The money value of domestic product is termed as domestic income. Production activity is done in an area. Suppose a firm is producing mobile phones in India. Now question is, where is production being done? If the production is done inside the domestic territory, it will be included in domestic product. That means, in this example, production of mobile phones will be included in domestic product of India, whether produced by an Indian company or by a foreign company. If the production is done outside the domestic territory, it will not be included in domestic product. That means production of mobile phones outside the India will not be included in domestic product of India, whether produced by anyone. National product. National product includes production activities of residents irrespective of whether they are performed within the economic territory or outside. The money value of national product is termed as national income. Suppose someone is producing biscuits. Now question is, who is producing? If residents of the country is producing the product, then it will be included in national income. In our example, if biscuits are being produced by normal resident of India, then it will be included in national product of India, no matter production is done within India or outside India. If non-residents of the country are producing, then it will be not included in national product. Relation between national product and domestic product. Normally, domestic product is estimated first. National product is derived from the domestic product by making certain adjustments. National product is equal to domestic product plus residents' contribution to production outside the economic territory minus non-residents' contribution to production inside the economic territory. Here, residents' contribution to production outside the economic territory is called factor income from abroad, and non-residents' contribution to production inside the economic territory is called factor income to abroad. Next concept is factor income from abroad, factor income to abroad, and net factor income from abroad. Factor income from abroad. Factor income from abroad is the income earned by normal residents of a country from the rest of world in the form of wages and salaries, interest, dividend, and earnings. Factor income to abroad. Factor income to abroad is the factor income paid to the non-residents for their factor services within the economic territory. Net factor income from abroad. It is the difference between factor income received from the rest of world and factor income paid to the rest of world. NFIA is equal to factor income earned from abroad minus factor income paid to abroad. NFIA can be positive, negative, or zero. If factor income from abroad is greater than factor income to abroad, then NFIA will be positive. If factor income from abroad is less than factor income to abroad, then NFIA will be negative. If factor income from abroad is equal to factor income to abroad, then NFIA will be zero. Significance of NFIA. NFIA is significant to differentiate between domestic income and national income. National income is equal domestic income plus residents' contribution to production outside the economic territory minus non-residents' contribution to production inside the economic territory. Difference of between factor income from abroad and factor income to abroad is called NFIA. So we can say that national income is equal to domestic income plus NFIA. Relation between domestic production, national production, and NFIA. First column is for relation between factor income from abroad and factor income to abroad. Second column shows NFIA, and third column is about relation between domestic product and national product. There can be three situations. First situation is that income from abroad is greater than income to abroad. In this situation, NFIA will be positive. If NFIA is positive, then national product will be greater than domestic product. Second situation is that income from abroad is less than income to abroad. In this situation, NFIA will be negative. If NFIA is negative, then national product will be less than domestic product. Third situation is that income from abroad is equal to income to abroad. In this situation, NFIA will be 0. If NFIA is 0, then national product will be equal to domestic product. Next concept is indirect tax and subsidy. Indirect tax. Indirect tax is a tax imposed by the government on production and sale of goods and services. It is a tax where the payer and bearer of the tax are different people. Imposition of indirect taxes by the government increases the market price of goods and services. Suppose if cost of producing one set of speakers is rupee 500 and government impose GST of 10%, then price of speakers will increase to rupees 550 due to indirect tax. Subsidy. Subsidy is a form of financial assistance given by the government to farms and households with the motive of general welfare. For example, in India, LPG cylinder is sold at subsidized rate. Subsidy granted by the government reduce the market price of goods and services. In the example of speakers, if the government grants a subsidy of rupee 10, then price of speakers will fall to rupees 540 due to subsidy. Net indirect tax. Net indirect tax is the difference between indirect taxes and subsidies. Net indirect tax is equal to indirect taxes minus subsidies. Next concept is market price and factor cost. Market price. Market price is the price at which product is actually sold in the market. It includes the indirect taxes and excludes the subsidies. Factor cost. Factor cost is amount paid to factors of production for their contribution in the production process. Factor cost is equal to market price minus indirect taxes plus subsidies. The difference between indirect taxes and subsidies is called net indirect tax. So we can say that factor cost is equal to market price minus net indirect taxes. See the circle, it's representing market price. Market price includes net indirect taxes, so there are two parts of market price. If we exclude the net indirect taxes, rest part is factor cost. Relation between market price, factor cost and NIT. First column is for relation between indirect taxes and subsidies. Second column shows NIT and third column is about relation between market price and factor cost. There can be three situations. First situation is that indirect taxes are greater than subsidies. In this situation, NIT will be positive. If NIT is positive, then market price will be greater than factor cost. Second situation is that indirect taxes are lesser than subsidies. In this situation, NIT will be negative. If NIT is negative, then market will be less than factor cost. Third situation is that indirect taxes are equal to subsidies. In this situation, NIT will be 0. If NIT is 0, then market price will be equal to factor cost. Let's understand with the example. Circle is representing market price. Suppose that price of a mobile is rupee 10,000. Indirect taxes imposed by government is rupee 1,000. And subsidy is also given, which is rupee 500. So net indirect taxes is equal indirect taxes minus subsidies. That means 1000 minus 500 is equal to 500 rupees. Factor cost is equal to market price minus NIT. That is 10,000 minus 500 is equal to 9,500, which is less than market price. Suppose that price of a gas cylinder is rupee 2000. Indirect taxes imposed by government is rupee 200. And subsidy is also given, which is 500. So net indirect taxes is equal indirect taxes minus subsidies, that means 200 minus 500 is equal minus 300 rupees. Factor cost is equal to market price minus NIT, that is 2000 minus 300 is equal to 2300, which is greater than market price. Now suppose that price of a table is rupee 1000. Indirect taxes imposed by government is rupee 200 and subsidy is also given, which is 200 rupees. So net indirect taxes is equal indirect taxes minus subsidies, that means 200 minus 200 is equal to 0. Factor cost is equal to market price minus NIT, that is 1000 minus 0 is equal to 1000, which is equal to market price. That's all. I hope that you have learned these concepts. These concepts are very important for accounting of national income. Thank you.